In the course of the last 18 years, the computer graphics industry has maybe experienced 100 to 200 companies. Everything from IBM, HP, Silicon Graphics, to S3, 3DFX, Rendition, Chromatic Research. Oh, the list goes on. Oak, Western Digital, the list Trident, the list goes on and on and on. And now there are very few companies left. I think there's really two. The fundamental reason why there are so few companies left is because the R&D and the investment necessary to create great visual computing technology is too high. If the R&D budget necessary is $1 billion per year to build a good product, and the market is not big enough, then it can only sustain 2 or 3 companies. If I spend $1 billion, AMD spends $500 million, Intel spends $1 billion, that's $2.5 billion. If that $2.5 billion needs to be about 20%, okay, then what that means then is that the industry has to be $10 billion to support it. Well, the graphics industry is about $10 billion. If another company invests another $1 billion, they cannot make it back. And so that's why few companies exist, because the investment level is too great. Now, how were we successful where other companies have not? When I first started the company, ATI or AMD was already a very large graphics company. In fact, ATI was already $1 billion. Intel had already been in the graphics industry and graphics business, I think, 10 years. And so when NVIDIA first started, we saw we saw a perspective that was very different than everybody else. Instead of seeing the chip as a graphics chip and the features are what we call, necessary, and you make a chip to sell to an OEM. Okay. We see that our job was not to make a chip to sell to an OEM. Our job was to understand what is the end use. The OEM does not use the computer. The OEM does not play games. The OEM does not design cars. Their customers use the PC to play games. Their customers use the PC to create cars. And so we realized very early on that it's not just about the chip, that it's about the experience of the user. And so we created processor, software, and we designed it in a way that when you use it, it's wonderful. I think that consistently, when you, over the course of the last 18 years, every single GeForce product that you bought has a singular characteristic. It made you happy, and it's wonderful.